Hey, everybody. Hopefully, everybody is having a great day. We have a huge amount of information to bring out to everybody, so I'm going to push Corey up there as well. So I know that so many people are working. They have so many things going on around the world, but I will tell you right now that this is one of the most important pieces. We're going to do it again. Just so that you know, we're going to have a ton of information to go over today. It's a full hour worth of information. I'm going to do my best to get it in, but we're going to stop and we're going to take some questions along the way. So if you have questions during the whole podcast that we're pushing out, go ahead and stop. We'll stop between sections, and then we'll go answer the questions for that. And we're going to try to move this down within an hour. Now, it has been an hour on just about one or two products, so we're definitely not going to be here for 12 hours. So I'm going to move quickly. I'm going to hit high-level stuff. I'm going to give you the ideas of what this is going to be for you and how this is going to be the life changer for you if you're wanting to do the business. But if you're just wanting to make it part of your world for better content creation and just running a better life that's more managed with AI in it, this is the tool that will do that for you, and you won't have to have 75 different subscriptions. You're not going to have a finishing product and then 12 different places to go and sort it all out. It's just a powerful place. So let's get going very quickly. I mean, one of the things that's most exciting about this for me and what we've seen over the last 5 years when we've been using AI is just how powerful it's getting and how much better it's getting, and what we can do with it. And I think that over the next 2 years, we're going to just absolutely see what AI can do in every aspect of everyone's life. But for right now, it's just incredible. You can create anything you can think of. You can open up your imagination. You can be as creative as you want to be. At the same point in time, you can use it for all the serious stuff, getting the numbers and getting the forecasts and the strategic planning and all the marketing and everything you can ever think of about financials. All that is available right here on AI. So a couple of things I want to point out right from the very beginning about we're going out to establish market superiority and security for you and the business and for our business. And we have 4 patents that have been filed now. IntelliChat, Personify, Closer, and Canvas Plus. You're going to see a little bit of 3 of those tonight. Closer is one that we'll talk about just briefly, maybe at the very end, but it's really a third quarter release. But these are things that are very different than anything else that's out in the world today. And then, of course, we bring the best of the world's better, applications for AI and put it all into one place, because that's how we create the tagline of the most powerful, most value-driven AI platform in the world. And this is not something that we're guessing. It's just absolutely something we know. And so let's get going. If you guys are in the chats and you're going, Corey, you can stop me at any time. But if there's like a question or something like that, stop me. If something happens, totally stop me. Just scream at me or whatever it takes to get my attention. But let's get started here.
How do you want to handle the questions? Do you want to answer them as we go, or do you want me to star them and come back to them?
Just star them, and then I'm going to stop between sections. So between each of the series, we'll go through and we'll do that. Got it. All right, let's go. Let me see here. Why did that shrink down there? I hit the wrong button. Okay. Here we go. Let's get started. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to actually walk you through as if you were just now getting into Ruby version 2.0. Every single person, even if those people who are here today, this is how you're going to start with Ruby version 2 for every single individual. The first thing you'll do when you'll get to Ruby is you'll see a let's get started screen, because this is where we're going to get everybody's information about how they intend on using this platform. And we're going to ask them whether they're going to use it on a personal basis or a business basis. And we have a little word cloud that they can go in, they can select the things that they think that they're going to use it the most for. And if they don't like it, they can actually put in their new stuff. But this is really helpful for us. And obviously there's different word bubbles for the business. This is really helpful for us to make sure that when they are getting into the platform, number one, we know what they're using it for, and also how they're going to use it, because that helps us, number one, push our product forward, but it also lets us create the interface so that they're going to have the things that they use the most or that they're the most interested in readily available to them. And so this is all part of maybe the next part of Ruby, but it's very important to get this information in. And then the next step is to go right into creating a persona, setting up that brand voice. Why you want to do this is super important. Everybody knows that if you're using Personify today, it's great, it's incredible. But what you see that we're getting ready to talk about today with Personify, it's a whole new ball game, and we want people to get started immediately creating the persona for them and their brand, and they just hit create persona, and they're going to be introduced to the most powerful persona creator that's out there. And I'm going to show you some things you may have never seen before, but you're also going to see why this is so powerful. So Personify is one of those patent pending applications inside of Ruby. And it's super powerful. That's why we're going for the patent. So let's just talk about what Personify does. Number one, it creates the perfect target audience so that when you're creating content, it is going to be speaking in the language that that audience needs to hear to make them engage or to convert. And so we want to make sure that we're not just wasting time going out and creating a bunch of stuff. We want to create it with the right voice tone and the answers and solutions that people are looking for the product, service, or whatever you're talking about. There's 3 ways to create this. You can create it from text, just putting in up to 5,000 characters about you, your brand, your personas, or your target audiences, whatever you think that you are talking about for your brand, you're going to put into text here, and then you'll just hit create persona. But there's 2 other ways to do this, and that is from a URL. So a good example of how to use this is to do a competitor analysis, where I can actually go and scrape a competitor's website. If they're doing very well, there's no reason to start over. I can go and get the exact persona and audience that they're targeting. They're doing it correctly. I can pull that in and I can create a persona exactly like that, so that when I'm creating content, I know I'm talking in the exact same voice tone and mentioning the exact same things that they are mentioning to get success. Now, it's also a good way to test your own sites. Whether you're looking at your own landing pages or your websites, this is a good way for you to understand what it is that's going on. And I'll just tell you a quick example of what happens most of the time in my marketing lifetime. If I would have had this back in 1995 to 2010, when I was running in my ad agencies every single day, what I probably would have found is that every time that we hired a copywriter and we put that copywriter text up onto the web, if I would scrape that today, it would probably come back with the demographics and the psychographics based on the person who wrote it, not for the person we're writing it for. And so this is a great way to test your own stuff to make sure you are getting the message created for the person that you're sending this to, not the person who's writing it. It's a very big deal. Now, also you can do it from social. So to create the URL, super simple, put in the URL, hit create persona, and away you go. Now, the other way to do it is to create from social. And all you're going to do is go in and put in the handle of the person that you're trying to go and get the information from. So if you know that you have a brand influencer out there that's really doing extremely well, they don't get millions of followers because they don't have it figured out. So if they've got it figured out and that audience that they're talking to is the audience that's perfect for you, you can literally just go in and put in their handle. Now, you can use Instagram, you can use Facebook, you can use Twitter, X, or TikTok to go and grab these. So if you've got an influencer that's on Instagram, great, you can put their handle in and we will go and get information from their social platforms. And we're going to use that to create the persona and the target audiences for you based on that. Now, this is another thing. I'm just going to kind of stage it up a little bit for where we go to. But if you are looking at influencers and they have multiple platforms, let's say they're on both Facebook and on Instagram, there's going to be probably completely different audience content that's being created for those, because they're different platforms with different demographics that are attracted to that. So you might want to do one Instagram persona and you might want to do one Facebook persona. Maybe you'll want to do one TikTok persona. And you might have all these different personas. I'm going to show you how taking those and combining those is something super special found inside of this here in just a little bit. Now, once you've done your Instagram or your Facebook, you got their handle in, all you're going to do is just hit create persona. And we're going to go out and we're going to build the persona and audience for you. You're gonna see a lot of information too. Every time it's going through its stage, you're gonna be seeing that change down in the bottom so that you know that this is working, you know what the stages are. This will take somewhere between 45 seconds and 2 minutes. Depends on, what we're doing with it, where we're going to gather the information, and how we're having to process that. So you'll be here, you'll see it go down, you'll know that it's working. But then when it's completely finished, you're going to get a chance to name your persona, but you're also going to get 4 different audience descriptions. And then you can go through and you can choose which is the best that is representing you, or what you think is the best that represents your target audience for this persona. Now, once you go in and you select one of them, you're also then going to see that we're going to have created an avatar, an image that's representing this for you. If you don't like it, you can go in and hit re-roll and we'll actually create another one for you. But it's very important that you get an image that represents the target audience that you're speaking to, because when you're looking at that and you're writing it, it totally changes the way that you are communicating in your words or even in your prompts. And so it's important to have that. Now, if you already have an image that you love that represents it perfect, all you gotta do is hit the upload. You're gonna be able to upload that image from your computer. In fact, you may have already created something inside of Ruby that's in the asset manager that can also be used. You can open that up from the same place. You load it up and you are finished. You're going to hit finalize persona, and we are going to give you the persona details. And it's going to have everything from the demographics, the psychographics, the voice profiles, and the tone profiles. And one thing that's very different about version 2 is that we're going to have the AI specifically put out each one of these, whether it be a primary age group or a secondary age group, whatever these are going to be. You'll see that we've selected them, but then there's these other ones that are just down here, not selected. These are suggestions that are also coming back from Personify to you so that you can start to tweak it. One of the things that we really wanted to make sure that we were able to do is that somebody who doesn't have any marketing experience whatsoever can go and create the most amazing content. And to do that, they have to be able to create great personas and to be able to talk to what really matters to them, which is their challenges and their pain points. And we have to talk to them in the right voice and tone so that they engage it and understand it the way they want to. This is so important that you can do it. And so you don't have to be a marketing genius. You don't have to be a marketing major to actually have this, because what we've done is we've just made it where we've given you suggestions where these are the most commonly used for that specific trend of your persona. These are different for every single one. They're not like the cases of, oh, hey, these are the most common ones. Choose one if you don't like the one you're given. These are the other ones, the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, up to the 9 different items that would be in each of the psychographic or demographic sections that you can literally choose from the income levels, the education levels, the household structure, even down to the location, because the location is super important, especially if you want to be super niche and you're trying to get into a very specific area. Like, there's a big difference between if I'm speaking to sell somebody in California on a specific product compared to maybe here in Oklahoma. And so it's very important that we have all of these things put together. Now, if you don't know what demographics are, we all have the way to go find us. At every one of these places on the top up here, you'll see a little information eye. You can click that at any time. It's going to tell you a little bit about it. And if you don't want to do that, you can actually click the play button and a video will come up and explain demographics to you, so you can learn along the way. It's the same way with the psychographics. We break down from personality, values, lifestyles, the motivations, what makes them tick. But what really is a big piece here is the challenges and pain points that we're pushing in there, so that when you're creating content, we're making sure that that content is going to be able to address their pain points with solutions of something that you're offering them. That is how you get them to convert and you get them to engage. And so this is very important to make sure that we have these right. Their goals, where are their buying behaviors or media consumption? Where are they going to get their information? What technology do they use? Because that's going to dictate how you reach out to them. And then, of course, You have the same thing. You can read about psychographics. You can play the video for it. Same thing for voice. You know, the voice is super important. If you don't see the one that you see here, you can go down and just type in the box, create your own voice, and hit add. Now, we only allow 3 voices and tones. That's what you will choose from when you're creating content. But you know, again, we're going to explain to you why you have to have a voice, why you need to get a tone. If you try to choose something that is over to 3, like you're trying to add one, a 4th one, you're going to get a message that says, hey, we're limited to 3. So you'll have to, you know, click off, choose one that, you know, you don't want, and replace it with the one that you do. This is a game changer in so many different ways, just in the way that you can build the persona coming out of the box. But it gets a lot better than that. So we have a couple of different views as well, how you can do it. This is our list view. If you look at the top of here, we have a detailed view, a list view, and a comparison view. And then down here, we have some bulk actions as well. So in the bulk actions, we have ways that you can go and link to a specific project, which personas are being used. That way, when you open up that project, you know that you're only seeing those personas that were part of that campaign or part of that project, right? You can also go in and do mass deleting. But the other place that you're seeing this is up here at the top. And you know, obviously, the detailed view you just saw, this is the list view that we're showing now. What is the comparison and why is this little thing over here saying premium? So in version 2, we're going to have premium features and functions inside of Ruby that are only going to be for those who are premium and premium plus subscriptions. Again, we have been extremely careful to make sure that our goal from the very beginning was to make sure that everybody around the world, no matter what price point that they were, whether they could come in at, you know, the lowest part of our you know, starter subscription to $25 to $50, we wanted everyone to be able to play in the game. And so we have made sure that every single feature that we're talking about, every microservice that's in our platform is in every single subscription. And it doesn't matter. I mean, there are ways to work around it. Like if you don't get the comparison, you still are able to go and do all the other amazing things that are done with Personify right now. But comparison is really for the next level. It's a way for you to go and take this for ad agencies everywhere. Now, if you try to click on that and you're not a premium, you're going to get a great video. We're going to upsell that. We're going to say exactly why you need to be premium, and you can just click on upgrade me and go right in. You'll go to the back office, you'll upgrade, and they'll push you back over here and you're ready to go. This is going to talk about all the reasons, not just this one reason, but it'll give you all the reasons for you to be a premium. Now, once you are premium and you come into Personify Comparison, you're going to select 2 different personas that have already been created, like the Instagram one for that influencer, but then also maybe you made one for the Facebook. And you want to compare the 2. You're just going to choose the 2 different personas. They're going to load into the comparison, and you're going to see in the middle there's an analyze. Now you can go through and you can manually look at this and look on each side and compare them back and forth, or you can just hit analyze. And what analyze is going to do is it's going to go in and just create what we call the persona crossovers. And this is a massive way for you to start to really understand and see what that is. I'll make it a little bit bigger so you can read it. But it's going to break down 3 different categories of those 2 personas together. So again, let's just take the example of your influencers on Instagram, your influencers also on Facebook. I want to make it a persona for both of them. And then I want to maybe come into a comparison, and I want to compare the 2 because I want to be able to create content instead of creating that much content, one for each one, which is obviously going to be better. But if I'm trying to do a campaign and I have limited time and I have limited abilities, sometimes I need to be able to cross over and maybe only create 4 sets of content instead of 10. So here I'm going to be able to do a crossover. I'm going to look at the differences between the 2 personas. I'm going to have a summary of the crossovers, where they cross over and they can blend together. And then we're going to get a marketing strategy for you to go and create content that's going to appeal to both of them the most successful way to do that. Now, if you're going to do marketing toward them as well, then let's make it real easy. And you'll see right down here, not only do we have crossovers that will let us kind of see that, but you're also going to be able to create a blended persona. And by just clicking that, you're going to go back through the persona process. It's going to go ahead and start to create that persona for you. And it's going to do the exact same process. You'll go back in, you'll rename it. You'll be able to choose a description for it, choose the avatar for it. And then it's going to come back to the details. And one of the things that you'll notice up here is that there's a little icon right here in the top. That's showing you that it is a blended persona, and that you can actually click on that and see what it is that you're actually blending the two things together. Sorry, I just messed up that. So you can click on the icon right there, and you'll be able to actually see what it is that they're doing. I don't know why I keep scrolling here. I think I copied something over. Hang on. You'll be able to hover over this. And once you hover over it, it will tell you the two different personas that were blended together. And you can actually open them by pushing on these buttons. So it's a very detailed way of going in and getting your hands on some of the most powerful ways for you to create great content. The other thing that's great about this is that you can actually export these out. So they're not just sitting here, but the export is beautiful in the way that it's laid out. And you can literally just take that to all of the pieces that you're looking for. Maybe it's your client. If you know an advertising agency or anyone that is actually doing anything with marketing, this is a huge product for them. It's well worth the subscription of Premium Plus for them, because it immediately lets them get down to where their content's going to actually make sense. It's going to deliver on the content, and they're not taking a guess on it. And furthermore, it's a way for them to really put this stuff together for their content, for their client quickly. Now, there's going to be another scroll here because it's all messed up on the scroll, but we'll get past that for just a second. Okay, Corey, we kind of wrapped up with Personify right now. Let's kind of stop and to see if we have some questions here. And let's kind of do a Q&A real quick.
Okay,
We're there. Let's see. Okay.
here we are. Okay, so I fielded a couple of questions myself in the chat. Heidi asks, can you share about downloading the Persona PDF doc that will be available to do in version 2?
Yeah, so it's right in the top of the page. I can't go back to find it, but in the very top of the page, there's an export, and you just hit the export button, and you'll be able to export that as a PDF. So that one's an easy question. Can you change the age bracket after a persona's been created? Yes, you can always go back and edit any of the personas that you're already created. And so right up by the export, you're actually going to see a save button. So if you've created something and then your audience is changing, or maybe you're tweaking it later, you just open back up that persona, you'll go into edit and or detailed view of it, and then you can actually change it and then save that. And you can do that for all of the different sections inside of the persona that's been saved. All right, anything else?
You must have done a fantastic job explaining that one.
Oh my goodness. All right, well, there's one of our patent pending options right there, guys. It's one of the most powerful things that I've seen that has come into the world of AI, just because you can really dive deep into those target audiences that you're wanting to get to. So let's kind of go through the next part. So as you logged in, you kind of went through the let's get started. You've now created your persona, which we've now gone through all of Personify. And after you've created your persona, and by the way, you can hit skip. We don't want you to, but you can hit skip so you can get right to the actual program. Maybe come to this page right here. The one thing about version 2 is that you're able to go in and start to have all these videos tell you exactly what to do to get started. So how to get started with Ruby, how do you create the Personify, how do you use Spy and Ghost, how do you use our virtual studio, and it has a tour, and all these videos will play for them. It will help them get started very quickly into the application and get the most out of it as quick as possible. Now, let's talk at the very top up here. You'll see that there are a couple of things up here. The words, the credits, a light mode, dark mode, obviously, and you're seeing dark mode right now. And then you're going to see something new up here called jobs. and you'll see a number 3. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Let's talk about words and credits. And one of the things you're going to see on credits is that credits are now in a decimal, because we have like 0.1 of a credit to do something. We have my 0.25 of a credit to do something. And so different things inside of our application actually has credits, and it uses decimal versions of those. And then words are just like, if you're creating anything that deals with chat or our modules, you're creating actual content from that deals with words. It's a word times whatever multiplier it is. The multipliers depend on which service that you're choosing to use to create that. We actually have 3 services that are completely free that don't go against your words at all. That's ChatGPT 3.5 Turbo. That is Claude 3 Haiku, and also Claude Instant. So you could choose any of those models to create your content from, and it would never count against your word bank. If you do use like Claude 3 Opus or Claude 3 Sonnet, GPT-4, Google Pro 1.5, Gemini Pro, whatever it is that you're trying to use, those all have different things, and I'll show you how that works here in just a second. But over here, let's look at jobs. So one of the things that we've done inside of version 2 is we've put stuff that happens in the back. So if it takes a long time, you don't have to sit there and wait for it to happen. And if you've got things working, you maybe have 3 or 4 things working. Well, when you do that, you can just go up here and you'll see the progress of those jobs. So if I'm doing Ghost Rewrite and it's over 4 versions of it, it's going to put it into the spool in the back to go and do a job, and it will just queue it up for the next thing to get done. And it will actually tell you that it's queued, tell you that it's started, and then will actually notify you both by email and also inside the app. If you're still inside the app, it will give you a notification that it has been completed, and you can go in and get that content. Same thing with the mid-journey image creation. Sometimes these things take a lot of time. You can still wait there while this is happening if you choose to, but if you want to move on, you can move on and come back and get your image later. The same thing with Personify. It could take a long time. I wouldn't think that you're going to see this, but even when you're creating a persona, it's going to load up as a job, and it's going to tell you how many are in the queue. Just in case our systems get overloaded and we have to queue up something, you're going to know how far in advance it's going to take to get there. We wouldn't suspect that to happen with Personify, but it might happen with Ghost, or if you're doing a big scraping job, maybe for a social media platform or something like that. Okay, so let's get back now and let's go to the left side menu. At the very top up there, you will see that you have your workspaces. This is the exact same way it works before. You can have multiple subscriptions. So the first word is the subscription name that you put on it. So if you have 2 subscriptions, they're all going to be in the same account. So you're going to log in with the same credentials. You can just have multiple subscriptions in there. They'll be separated by the first name, and then you can have the workspaces that are associated with the subscription, and these are the different workspaces. And this is the way that you keep your content separated and organized. It also is a way that you can keep collaborators inside of a specific area and not have them have access to everything in your account. Now, if we go out of that and we start looking at the left menu, you'll see that we have IntelliChat, Personify, Spy Ghost, Prompts, Virtual Studio, and then Projects in the Asset Manager. If you click on the Virtual Studio, obviously we have a bunch of things that are going to spin down. This is your image lab, your audio lab, vocalizations, My Voices, Voice Library, Revoicer, Video Lab, and Ruby Music. All of these are pushed into that left menu because we actually have 2 different workflows that we will do. If it's on this left-hand menu and you choose to do that, we call that the rapid build workflow. And that means that you don't have to come in and do anything. You just literally click on it and you can go and create it. Whatever you create will be saved and it will go to your general files. So one of the things that we're really making a big deal about in version 2 is how to make sure that everything you're doing is organized. And also that we wanted to create projects so that you could come back and have all the assets that you use to create a project. And if you want to tweak it or modify it later, you can just open the project, change the one thing, and then refinish the product out, and you don't have to start all over again. And so that's kind of the difference between the two workflows. The first workflow, rapid workflow, open this up. You don't have to create a project. You don't have to worry about a project. It's going to automatically save whatever's been created and it's going to go there. However, there will be no way to go back and grab all the pieces by just hitting a button. You're going to have to know where all those pieces are and manually put them back together. Now, if you're going to do anything other than just do a quick thing, you want to hit the create button. Because when you hit the create button, you're actually going to see that now you have a new project or an existing product or project. Now, you can choose either one of those. If you choose a new project, that's exactly what you're going to do. You're going to go out, you're going to start to create a new project for that. It's super simple. You're just going to go up, you're going to upload an image. It'll help you easily identify this. You're going to be able to choose which workspace that you want this project associated with. You give it a project name and you're going to give it a description. Then you're going to hit create new project. Now, if you don't want to do a new project and you want to use an existing one, it's pretty simple. You'll click on it and you'll have a modal come up, and this will have all the projects you're having. You know, it'll be a scroll menu on the side. You can just scroll through them, or you can actually search up there and find it. Now, once you have that, you're going to select the project, and now you're going to be asked, what is it that I want to go do? Now, one of the things that is super important to understand about the way projects work is that projects are built inside of another one of our patent pending applications called Canvas Plus. And so whatever you choose here is going to open up a canvas for you to start building whatever content you are talking about building. If you choose video or Ruby music, those two are going to open up our audio video lab. Same thing with audio up here. It's going to open up our audio video lab. So if I click on the video lab, you're going to be taken into Canvas Plus. Canvas Plus allows you to edit your audio, your video, putting in graphics, putting in text, all of that will be here. You'll be able to set up your project settings so you have everything set up for it. You're going to see that you have the ability to go in and load up your audio files or your video files. It's super easy to start to do all this. And then if you want to drag something, you literally will just click on it. You'll drag it down to the timeline. So now I've got my audio files in here. If I want to put maybe text on top of it, I can click the headline. It'll put a headline title in there where I can actually go in and start putting in different text. I can change the fonts, the styles, the size, anything that I want to create on top of the video. And then I can keep on going through this. Now, one of the things that you'll find at the very bottom down here is a way that you never have to leave the canvas to go and finish your product out, because you might want multiple assets that are being created inside of Ruby. You have your video, that's great. But you might actually have images that you want to use. Or you might actually have, let's say, audio files, right? So if you're back here in the back, if you just want to go into the next piece, I could hit Ruby Music. Hey, let's go make a piece of music. I don't have to leave, delete, come back. I can actually go right in. I can create a piece of music right here. I have all the options that I have just right here in front of me in this little drawer. I can click on vocals and I could go and do vocals. I could go in and create any type of music I want. And then when I'm finished with it, because I'm in a project, all I have to do is close this, because it's going to automatically save it, right? So once I've saved it, it's going to be latched to that project. And so then when I go into my project, that audio file is already there for me to just drag down into the timeline, and I can now put music underneath my voiceovers, or maybe I'm just using an audio video to cut it. Now, I can do that for all of these different ones. So let's just say that I want music, but then I also want to go and I want to do an audio because I want to change my voiceover. I just have to click on the audio, and now I've got my voiceover. If I want to do that for images, I can click on images, and now I'll be able to go right up and add my images right there as well. I can create them and I can save them, and they're going into the project that's actually being opened and worked on at this time. So you can do incredible things by just being able to go in here and create on Ruby Canvas. Now, this is the audio video, but we also have the options. If you were at the beginning and you chose to do content, let's say, well, your content's going to have a canvas as well. It's just going to be looking a little different, right? It's going to be able to do images and telechat, and everything will be attached to them the same way at the bottom, and you can go in and create any kind of document. We also have templates that will be there that you can open up, and there will be premium templates, and there will be the for everyone templates. And so if you're looking at a premium template, it might be something like, here is a marketing plan layout that you can go in and put in new pictures in, but it's completely laid out, and you're just able to go in and hit the buttons. And IntelliChat is built into these documents. So wherever there in the templates there are text, you'll have the ability to choose which model you want to write the content. You can write multiple times, and then you choose which one you're going to insert into that text block. Same thing with images. You can go create all the images that you want. It is a super powerful way of creating great content. And yes, you can put your Ruby Virtual Studio bug right on top of any image that you do inside of Ruby Canvas. All right, so now that kind of takes care of that. Let's stop for a second. Let's kind of take any questions real quick. We're moving fairly good. Are the ones in blue the one I need to be looking at, Corey?
Yeah, you can just click on start and it'll put them in order for you.
Oh, okay.
If you have that, I don't know what you have.
Yeah, I'm just trying. Okay. Are there written rules as to what we can and cannot share onto our own channels, like YouTube? So actually, Lisa, the good news is that everything that you are creating inside of Ruby is 100% yours. Even the music is not going to get flagged because it's yours. It's royalty free. Our music is built on music theory. So you never have to worry about getting flagged for anything on TikTok or on any Twitch. I mean, anything. You don't have to worry about those infringements because of the fact the way that we build it, and you have those rights to go and do commercial work with that. And so there aren't any rules that you have to really worry about. Collaborators, how does it work? I'm not gonna worry about collaborators right now. I'm gonna get to them here in a minute. So I'm gonna push that question off, Heidi. I'll get to that here in the next set. Multiple subscriptions, you mean accounts? So there are actually ways to do multiple subscriptions. So like, let's say that I have a premium and I actually need more bandwidth than just having the 5 workspaces, and I want to have 10 workspaces. I can actually have 2 premium accounts. That would be their 2 premium subscriptions that I'd be paying for 2 different subscriptions, but I would be able to manage them all in the exact same place. Here's another good example. I have one account that's like my agency account, but I have an account for this client and an account for that client and an account. I'm going to put them as separate subscriptions, not separate workspaces, but separate subscriptions, so that then I can break down their data and their stuff into workspaces specifically for each of those clients. That would be a good example of that. Since you suggested that ad agencies and marketing firms could be prime candidates for Rubi.AI, will there be a special pricing available for them? So the pricing is what it is. I mean, honestly, when you talk to these agencies and they're looking at what this offers them, they would be sitting here looking at paying $30,000, $40,000 a year for other marketing platforms that would do not even near what this is doing. So it's real simple for them. Again, they can have multiple subscriptions. So if they need obviously the premium plus would be the best place for them to start, because they can have multiple workspaces. But they're going to do the exact same thing that I'm just talking about. They're going to create the place for them, their ad agency version, and then they're going to start adding subscriptions for their clients that they're using it for. And then of course, if I was doing it for them, I would be upcharging that for their client and then making their client a collaborator into their account, but keeping that all right in their backyard. That's the way that I would see that working. Can we use our own videos and use Ruby to tweak them? Absolutely. So that in all of the places for audio and video, you can also upload to the editor. So you can upload those into the project. Those will be stored. They'll be in our asset manager. You can always get to them. And you'll always be able to delete them out or whatever it is that you want to do. But yes, you can upload your own content. Multiple subscriptions, can you earn commissions from all subscriptions? Of course. Every subscription that is out there, it doesn't matter if they're all in one account or in one name. Every subscription pays in the business model. Okay, let's move on. We're doing good. Here we go. Let's see. Must you have the original MP3 to edit them? So we're not breaking down the MP3s. I saw a good question from Linus. So Linus, if you upload that, it's going to put it in there, and you can break it, that one MP3 down. You can go in and you can separate it and split the cuts, and you can move the audio around just like you would in any other audio editor or video editor. You'll be able to split those up as an MP3 file. Will you be able to remix them? Like, can I take the voiceover off and can I put music over here? We are not doing that at this time. So there you go. Okay, let's go. We're going to move on to the next one now. Down at the bottom right, you will see that we now have a profile section down in the very bottom left. When you click profile, it's going to open up and you have 4 different options that will show up. Manage accounts, ask Ruby FAQs. Guys, if you want to know anything that Ruby can do, this is where you're going to do it. You're going to click on Ask Ruby. It's going to open up a chat, and it is a chat that knows everything about Ruby. All you have to do is ask it. It's going to give you questions. It's going to give you suggestions. So you'll have fun playing with that. It's the first line of defense for anyone to make sure that they teach them to get to the Ruby Ask Ruby, because they can do a lot of answering of the questions or ideas how to get better results maybe by asking Ruby. Usage. You want to be able to see what you're doing with your stuff. We'll talk about that. And then logging out, obviously, is the next piece. So let's talk about manage accounts. If I click on manage the accounts now, I'm going to just see the basic stuff that we have now. One of the things that's a little different here is we don't have a lot of data in here for like your personal name or whatever. You pretty much know your name. You don't need to know that. You will choose a preferred language. Now, this is not super important today, but in the third quarter release, it will be super important, because whatever preferred language that you're selecting is how your software, when you first log in, everything will be in that language, and it will stay in that language as the native language. So this will be the preferred language that you will choose when we go multilingual on everything. Premium, okay, if you have multiple subscriptions, this is where you can name them and identify them. Any subscriptions that you have would show up here. You'd name the client or whatever, you put the logo so you can keep them separate. This is where you would manage all of that. Now, the next place we'll do is just, if you click on usage at the top, you're going to see all the usage. You can see your credits, see which you're using the most credits for which application, whether it's doing for images, maybe it's Mid-Journey, maybe this one's DALL-E 3, maybe this is voiceover, vocalization, speech to text, or text to speech. Each one of these will have a specific piece that credits are used, and you can go see where you're using your credits the most. Over here, you're going to see the word usage statistics. This is where you can see how many words were used in a module, how many were used for chat, how many total words were there. But you're also going to be able to choose which model. Okay, so you can break this down by model. Am I using GPT-4 the most? Am I using Claude 3 the most? Where am I using it? And you can just flip this, and you can also flip the time period by month as to where that's going to roll. And then down here at the bottom, it's the same. It's just a different way of looking at it. You can flip a model. You can change the week here, not just a month, but a week. And you can see where those words are being used, either in chat or in the module. Now, if you scroll down a little bit more, you're going to see, just like you do today, all usage. You can go to just credits or just words, and you can see by month exactly when every transaction that's ever happened inside of Ruby, you'll be able to get access to that. Workspaces. So workspaces are exactly the same. Again, you have 1, 3, or 5 workspaces, and you'll have 10 workspaces when you get into Premium Plus. Those will be all managed right here, exactly the same way. Nothing has really changed. If you want a new one, you create a new one. If you have too many of them, it will ask you to inactivate one of them or to delete one of them because you have reached your limit. And then let's talk about one of the questions that was already asked, which is collaborators. So collaborators are a little bit different than what they are today. Nothing really changes. If you have a collaborator today, they're essentially going to have all permission access like they do right now. So if you have a version 1 collaborator that's already in your system, they're not going to know any different for them. They're going to be able to log in. They're going to have access to everything unless you choose to go in and edit them. And if I choose over my 3 little buttons over here, I can go in and I can edit one of those. And what it's going to do is going to open up the collaborator edit and create. And obviously I have their name here. But you're going to see it's a little bit different. If you're going to invite someone or you're going to edit them, this is the way it will look. They'll have their name in it up there, obviously, if you've done that. You're going to choose which workspaces they will have access to. So if I'm inviting Heidi, I only want Heidi maybe to have marketing and physical training. I don't want her to have access to my nutrition, automotive blogger, or travel. Okay. So I'm just going to click the ones that she does have access to. Now below that, you'll see something called permissions. And this allows you to let not just the workspace, but what can they do in each of those workspaces? Do they have the ability to open up a module? Can they use Spy or Ghost? Can they create images? Can they do audio lab? Can they use the video lab? Can they create music? Can they do dubbing? These are all permissions that are individual that you can give them the rights to by just clicking in this, and you'll say grant or remove access. All right, grant access, remove access. That's all your options are going to be, but you'll have that for each single one of those. Okay, now let's go on to two more things that you're going to see on the left side. So we've gotten personify out of the way. Right underneath that, you'll see spy and ghost, which we are familiar with spy and ghost already today. But spy stands for surveillance, plagiarism, and identifier. And let me just tell you, it's super important to have this feature because we want to make sure that the content that you're creating is, number one, high quality. Two, we want to make sure that it's plagiarism free. And three, we want to identify if that's going to be found by the AI detection softwares. Now, I believe in a year from now, it really just won't matter. I don't think anyone's going to care. But today, they do care. And SEO cares, schools care, and that's why we have it. And it has a little bit of a facelift for us. And so if you have documents or something like that's being built over here, you can load it in here. You can also import contact that you've already saved, and you can load it up here, and you can run a spy check on it. Now, one of the things that we did is that we made it so that if you're doing it and you want to get it underneath the AI detection software, that's what our microservice Ghost is for. In the previous version, you have to go in, you have to click Ghost, have it rewrite it, wait for it to be done, then click on another button to say, I'm going to submit this text to go to Spy to check the AI detection. Today, you don't have, in version 2, you won't have to do that. You literally will just go in, you'll run it, you'll see where things are. And if you want to change the text that's on the right, you'll click Ghost and Audit, and it will automatically rewrite it. It will actually add that to the text blocks over here and call it Ghost Results. So you have both of the results, by the way, saved. And then you'll be able to see exactly what it is with Ghost. Every time you hit that, it's going to do the same thing. It will run it again, and it will rewrite what the rewrite was onto the editor. And it will send that in to be tested. So it's a one-step option. Guys, this is massive. And I will tell you that in the third quarter, possibly, definitely by the fourth quarter, you're going to have another thing called fact checking inside of Spy. And that's going to allow you to take a piece of content that has been created and fact check it to make sure that it's actually true. So we have a great way to do that instead of IntelliChat already, but it's another added feature that you'll be able to use inside of Ruby. Now, Ghost has two reasons for it here, right? Ghost actually does humanize content, and it does that to get it underneath the AI detection software. But Ghost is also huge on doing multiple versions with one single click. So if I wanted to go in and create 4 of the exact same blog, right? I've got a blog, I've got the topic, maybe it's a campaign, and I want to create a blog every single day on that same campaign, but I want it to be seen by Google and everybody else as new content. And maybe a different angle of the content. That's where Ghost really shines. So I can go and load up my content that I want to rewrite, and then I can go and I can click down this versions number. Today, we only allow 4. But now with the jobs and the stuff that goes on the back, you can now click 5+, and that's going to allow you to go up to 50. It'll actually change the drop down into a text box where it'll load the number 5, and you can type in there up to 50 copies of something at the exact same time. Now, I will say that anything over 5, if I click on the 5+ and I'm not a premium, we're going to get the little thing that says, hey, it's great to be premium, because that's a premium piece. If you're going to go over 4, you need 5+, and you want to do it all at one time, then you're going to have to be a premium or premium plus subscriber to get that capability. Now, as I said before, we want to make sure that everyone has an opportunity to use it. And if you want to use 4 and then go create 4 more and create 4 more, and that's up to you. But if you want to go create 50 different versions at one time, we're going to make you be a premium subscriber to do that. Okay. Super. I'm going to stop real quick. Let's do some more questions real quick before we get into something that's super exciting. I can't actually wait to show that. Okay. Why can't I scroll up and down? There we go. Okay. Looks like I just got this one right here. Okay. Cindy Marshall, is there a way that a person who has an account already to collaborate with someone else's account? No, we will not allow them to blend or merge accounts or be part of each other's accounts. Number one, that's a security issue. Number two, it's also a way for them to go around doing our stuff. So no, that won't be a possibility. However, I will tell you that there is an export along with doing a PDF in the Personify that is being created. And you will be able to possibly send out certain pieces. Like I can go and share this piece with somebody by sending it as an export, and they can import that file in. So that's something that won't be initially on the initial release, but it is something for the third quarter that's already being talked about to be able to share within specific elements, but not sharing accounts. So hopefully that helps. How will the combined Ghost and Spy be charged credits? It's the same way it is now. It's just one credit for every time that you run Ghost or Spy. So it's all the same. Okay, let's do something super cool. So Rubi.AI Virtual Studio, where imagination comes to life, right? So this is like the thing that really gets everybody moving around everything that we do here, guys. So when you start to realize what's involved in the virtual studio, you start seeing all those on the left-hand side when you spun them down. There is a lot. There's the image lab. There is the audio lab. There's the video lab. And inside of each of those, there's a bunch. And then there's, of course, there's Ruby Music. And when you get inside of the image lab, well, there's just a whole lot more going on there now, too. So let's just look at what's there. Number one, we already have Midjourney and DALL-E 3, but we're expanding those out to include Leonardo.AI, SDXL, and then also image enhancement. And these are AI pieces that can do things very quickly to help you maybe take your image, even an image that you don't make here, you can upload and you can use the image enhancements to knock out a background, replace a background, remove an object, whatever it is. One of the things that it's not much difference on Midjourney or DALL-E 3. You're going to get your prompt, you're going to choose which way you want to go, you're going to generate it, and you're going to see it start to go to create. It's going to show up the same way, but here's one thing that is different. From now, when you start to click view on that, it's going to open it right in this window, and you're going to be able to download it immediately right there. You don't have to go to a different tab to do that, and then you can just click close. Now, you also want to say, like, hey, I'd love to look at my gallery without having to leave this and see. I want to compare what other images I have created maybe. Well, that's easy to do too, because you see this little thing up here is called history. All you have to do is just click on that. It's going to slide out a drawer with all of your images in it from the gallery. And you can go through each of these and see what you have while you're still on the generation page. You don't have to leave and go back and see it. It's a way that you really can start to compound your productivity and the creative workflow to really get the best that you create. Now, up here, you're also going to see some ways of doing some bulk actions. So you can go in and I can hide this little blue dots. See them? I can click on these blue dots. I can start to select more of them. I can actually select all of them if I wanted to. I can download all of them. I can download just the selected ones. I can also link those to a specific project. So if I'm in a project right now and I've got all these generations going, but then I didn't do it in the project, I can go back in and I can link them to a project after the fact. And when I open up that project, I will now have those available to put into my project. Okay, and then of course you can do a mass delete. So that'll be a way for you to kind of clean out all the things that are out there. All those those face swaps that didn't turn out too good for you, that's a good way to get rid of them all at one time. Okay, let's go on here. Leonardo AI, that opens up a lot of capabilities as well. And one of them is models. So we have models that will help you create specific things. These are just ways that your prompts become more automated and put into like almost like using Midjourney and you use one of our defaults. That's what you're going to get with models. Now, let's just look real quick at image enhancement. So the image enhancement will just open up just like this. You'll see all of these down the left-hand side. These are all the things that you can do inside of the image enhancement. I know it's small, so I'll read them to you, but it's remove background, replace background. You know the difference between remove and replace. So this is a remove, right? So it leaves a transparency behind it. Replace is where you put a prompt and say, I want to put a waterfall behind this boxes, and it will put the waterfall behind it. Object remove, object replace. Again, you can say, I don't want this boombox here. I actually want, a basketball or whatever would be there. And I can insert that through AI. Out painting and in painting and replace sky. Face swap, which we're all familiar with. Restore face is a way to clean up a face. Reimagine allows you to take an image and it can reimagine how it could be laid out or recomposited. So if you're doing it like with a motocross person and he's jumping over a racetrack, but you could take that and actually you can reimagine it, and maybe he's out on the dunes in the Sahara, and it would put in a different image so you can reimagine, give you ideas how that same image could be used in other ways. Photo colorize, sketch to image. It's kind of fun. You can just kind of draw. I will tell you that there's 4 of these that are going to be premium products: sketch to image, in painting, out painting, and image to image. Those are premium products that you'll have to be in a premium to have access to those 4. But everything else is just part of your subscription. Okay, done with the image lab. So I'm going to stop and take just a quick. I see one question. Can you create albums so that you can organize your images based on either customer project or any other category so that they are more manageable? Larry, that's a great question, because our asset manager allows you to do that. Just like you were linking them to projects, you will actually be able to put them all into folders, and you can separate them that way inside of the asset manager. So yes, you'll be able to do that. How many credits for image enhancement? So the image enhancement is a 0.1 of a credit. Okay, so you can go through it and try to remove background here. It's 0.1 of a credit. So it's a lot cheaper than having to go and create a new image that you love the image, but you just don't love the background. Those are going to be 0.1. For each and every one of those is just 0.1. And so that's awesome. Okay. Let's go. We got some more. We got 2 minutes for the hour, but we're doing good. We're getting to some of the good stuff, because now I'm going to jump in and I'm going to dig in a little bit deeper. So let's talk about Ruby Music for just a second. So Ruby Music allows us to go in and create royalty-free music, both instrumental and with vocals. And now for this one, I'm actually going to switch over from here. I'm just going to jump right into our dev for you. 1 second. Let's do this.
I'm bummed you didn't use my new Ruby music slide.
I know, I would have. I'm running late. We were trying to get there's so many slides for us to create. Okay, so I'm going to actually go down here and get into our Ruby Music. Ruby Music, the first thing you'll be able to see is all the different genres that you can create in. Okay, so obviously we have the banners and all this good stuff in our production stuff, so you don't have to worry about that. But one of the things that's really cool is you see all the different genres that you can create music in, and then we also have styles for each one of those. So I can go into lo-fi. I can do that if I choose this moods or whatever. I'm just going to find it. I'm going to see all these different themes or styles that I can start to create music in. If I go to my left-hand menu, I can also go in and say hip hop or whatever. I'm going to see all the stuff that's available as far as styles. Now, one of the things you're also going to see, now this is a premium feature if you want to have access to these collections. These are major stars in the world of music, producers, engineers, that are able to go in and create specific tracks just for us to be able to use. And if you want access to them, you will have to be a premium user, or they won't even show up. Like, they won't even show up for you. But what's really cool about it is that you'll see every style that you want, and you can also go in and click on them. And it's not there. They were just working on the dev like an hour ago, and they pulled them out to load them. But we'll have free samples for every single style. Okay, so every style, you want to know what club beats are, what kind of music you expect, you'll have 5 different options here. You'll be able to play the music. You'll be able to see what that looks like, and if it's something you like or you don't like, or you can go back in and you can choose a different style, right? You can go in and do that for any of them. You can do it for rock. You can do it for ambience. Sonia Hulse, this is directly for you. Here are all of the solfeggio stuff for you from 174 all the way up to 963. You can go through and create your own music. In fact, I think I'll use this as the demo that we'll do today. I'm going to create on 528. So this is all I'm going to do. I'm just going to click on that. It's going to give me a little bit of information about it. Again, I'm going to have five tracks. So I'm going to be able to hear what it is. But if I want to create one myself, I'm just going to click on the create button, and I'm going to see my drawer come up. And now I'm just going to be able to go in and I can choose the speed that I want the song to go. And every one of our genres and styles has a range in which they would be. So if I want it slower, it'll be 90 is the bottom, faster is 110 beats per minute. If you don't know what that means, it's okay. Just go with what's on there when it comes out, right? If you want to put it in a specific key, right? So now I can choose exactly which key I want. I want it in E, or maybe I want it in F sharp. I'm just going to do whatever it is that I want, and then I'm going to hit create preview. At the top, you'll see that this is the line that if it's working or not. Corey, can you hear that coming through?
As long as you don't talk, you can either play or talk, one or the other.
Okay. Okay, so you get the idea of that's the solfeggio. Okay, you can do that for every one of them. And here's the cool thing. Once you're in that creative mode, you never have to leave it. If I want to do something else, let's say I wanted to create a hip hop song, I literally can come in and I can choose whatever it is that I want to. And I can just say create new preview down here. And now I'm going to get a new song that's being created. And that's, oh, I know why, because I can't use that track. Hang on. You go back here, you go hip hop, I go there. Okay, now I'm gonna hit create preview. You see at the top line again, this is your process. Okay, so I can't talk and do that at the same time. So I'll kind of walk through the rest of it. Now, once you find a track and you really like it, all you're gonna do is give it a name. So I'm just gonna call it test. And I'm gonna hit save. And you'll see that now I've got my little message, it's saved. If I go to my library over here, this is where you're gonna see all of the music that you are saving, okay? And this is where you can download that and the high res. What you're hearing in the previews is that. It's a preview. That's why it's rendering so fast. But then when you're getting ready to do it, we're going to mix it and render it and bring it to you in high quality when you hit get, okay? Now you can come in and play them from here. You can hear them. So like, here's a piano underscore. And if you didn't see that, you can always pull up your player from the bottom right here. It's just a little arrow right here in the bottom. You can pull up your player and you can scrub through it if you wish. Okay, and so if you like the song and you want to do it, so here's what you'll be able to do. Number one, you'll be able to sort through all of it from tracks and loops, because we do loops as well. I can show you that one of those here in just a second. You can separate them by genre. So everything that's just in hip hop, I want that. I'm just going to apply that, and I'm going to see only the songs that are in my hip hop that I've saved. I can do away with that, click it off, hit apply. I can go into styles. And what's really cool about styles is it's just over here. Like, okay, I want to do it with club beats. So now I'm going to have just those that are in with the styles of club beats. My beats per minute, I can sort through as well. So if I want to go through it just by beats per second, I can do it by a range of beats per minute, or I can do it by beat dead on. If you're a DJ, like this is amazing. For you to be able to go in and create all this cool stuff, and you can have it exactly in the rhythm that you need and the key that you need and everything else. And you can sort through these and find the ones that you want easily. Now, once you're ready to go in and download that track, you're just going to hit get, and you're going to get the ability to do a couple things. One, you're going to be able to get it as an MP3 file and a WAV file, or you're going to be able to get stems. Now, stems is a premium feature. Okay, so if you click it and you're not, a premium, you're going to get the premium video that pops up. What is a stem? A stem is allowing you to bring it into a professional audio environment, studio, where they can import it directly into their platform, whether it be a Pro Tools or Ableton. It doesn't really matter. They'll be able to pull them all in, and you can then mix them and all the MIDI data, all of the stems that are sitting in there that shows every cymbal crash, every snare hit, every chord, all of it breaks down so that you can do a professional mix, and you can tweak and move the song around the best you want to. It's great because it saves tens of thousands of dollars for an artist that goes into a studio that has to have studio production, talent to come in to play it for them. They have to pay a lot of times for the engineer to go in and mix it and remix it. And here we are able to bring something to them and start laying your audio tracks over it, put your guitar riffs in it, and mix it the way that you want to. You get an incredible thing, and then all you're going to do is hit download, and those are going to come down for you. Now, this is the way that you create instrumentals. But let's just say that you don't want to do instrumental. You can hit create, and you can hit vocals. And vocals is going to allow you to do it with prompts. So you can just put in a simple prompt as what you want to create, right? So I'm just going to reuse this prompt that's over here. Let me see. Actually, let me just do an 80s. This is just because I've done this one so many times. 80s rap song about Sonia and living in Alaska. Sorry, Sonia. I don't know what this is going to do, but we'll give it a shot and see what happens. So then you're just going to hit generate. And what this is going to do is it's actually going to go and create, just based on those very limited words that we're putting into it, 2 audio tracks. Okay. Now I will tell you, it's AI. It's not going to be the perfect every single time. You might have to go in and tweak your prompt a little bit. It's going to cost 1 credit for 2 tracks. So every time that you run to create this, it's going to cost you 1 credit. And that will get you 2 different tracks that you can use. Every track is saved. And again, here's your progress bar here at the top. It's a little slower because we're obviously putting vocals into it, and it's creating the entire lyrics and everything for you. They're going to show up over here on the right-hand side, but you can see that I have music that's in here we've been playing with, and you can keep going in here, and all of them are stored there. You can go into the 3 little dots, you can download them, you can rename them, you can reuse the prompt again, or you can delete them. And so you can kind of manage what it is that you're trying to do. Now you can always just go in and replay them as well. And so if I want to come in here and say, play this one. Okay, so you can see that when you click on that, it's going to give you a album cover. It's going to give you the verse and everything broken down for your lyrics all onto this right side. And you can do this while it's actually working. Now, what extend does is it gets the first songs in between 1 minute and 2 minutes long. And if you want them to, if you like them and you want to then go and work on them, you can do an extended where then you go through and it will actually open up a new place for you to start at a specific place, and you can add more lyrics or tell it to redo the chorus or do a bridge or do an outro or guitar riff. Whatever it is that you're trying to do, you can extend that piece of music out further. Now, here's our 2 pieces of music that were just done. Sonia, if this bad, I just apologize now. I don't know. I'm just shut in the dark going live.
cold weather, queen shivering toes. Northern girl, dog sled, clean troops, the ice planes, watching the walrus. Colors splash through her veins, Eskimo coat. World line sense of style. Hold up their sights, making a smile. Big groove.
Okay, let's try the second one. See, it's got the same lyrics. Let's just see what this one sounds like.
Listen apart, red hair, dunny tails, cold weather, clean shivering toes. Northern girl, dog sled, dreams, cruise, the ice planes, watching her walrus. Colors splash through her veins, Eskimo coat.
Okay, so you get the idea. You can have a lot of fun with it. And I think that this is incredible though for you doing stuff in social media. This is a major way for you to get, people going and merging in people that have interests like this. But it's also great for special occasions. You can say things through songs now that you wouldn't be able to do. And you can get some really great stuff out of here. I mean, from podcast opens to special songs for a specific event or something that you're just doing. It's important, like Mother's Day or whatever else. There's a million different ways that you can do that. So that is Ruby Music. I'm going to jump in and answer a few questions real quick. Corey, do we have any questions on this so far? There's one. Will Ruby Music be interfaced to other repository platforms and Spotify? So right now, it will be able to be posted onto your SoundCloud is a possibility. We're not sure on that one, but you definitely can go to YouTube. You can definitely go to TikTok. You can go into that. Spotify, we have not yet gotten there, so that's going to be something that maybe we can add later. But that's something we'll have to look at. If you want to take them as a commercial piece of art out to the marketplace, that's going to be you downloading it and taking it to a place where you can go and take care of that and publish it, and you can track all the royalties and all that good stuff for you. You can also download it, take it over, create the NFT, all that good stuff that you want to do to go sell that. Again, they are commercial documents, so you can go and do that. So lots of cool, fun things that are going on. Question, this platform is so vast and fun. What is the best and easiest way to explain this to people who want to get into the business? Well, I would say it's exactly what I just said. It's the most powerful, value-driven platform in the world that it can do anything that you want to do with AI. And you can choose to go do it, whatever section that you're wanting to work in. So you don't have to go and explain this whole thing. I think the best thing to do is find out what they're interested in. What is it that they do? And then they can go and show them how that functions. Another great way that you're going to be able to market this is to hit a lot of different markets by showing how fast you can do something. To be able to go in and create a video that goes into TikTok or Twitch or YouTube Shorts, to be able to go in and create something so quick and just post it up, you can show that on as just you doing it. And people will say, oh, I want to do that, because you're showing them it can be done quickly and easily. That's going to be a lot of ways that you get to share and show all of this. Can you ask it to sound like a certain artist? You cannot ask it to do an artist, because then you're going to be actually running over copyrighted material. So you can't ask it to do it about a specific artist. You can talk about a modern day pop that, that you can get close to describing it, but you're not going to be able to put an artist name in. No. Can we post directly from Ruby onto our social platforms? Yes, we're getting to there. That was in our connections, and let me see where I thought we had that. I guess I didn't put those in, but yes, we do have connections. They're found in the, actually we did. We did have connections. Your connections are, I'm going to go back and find them real quick for you, so I can show it to you. I thought I had it on. Hang on.
I don't know if you had them in this deck. I don't recall seeing them.
Maybe I don't have them here. Yeah, so in your when you're doing in the accounts area, that's where you're going to find the yeah, you'll find them in the My Accounts, Glenda, and that's where you can connect them and you can do all that stuff. All right, so let's go through two more pieces. Audio Lab is pretty simple. I'm going to go through that one next. So let me close this out. Let me go into our Voice Lab and go to vocalization. So under the Voice Lab, you're going to see text to speech and speech to speech. This is a way that you can take any text that you want and create a a voiceover of that. So it's easy to do if you want to choose any voice that you want. You can actually do your own voice. I'm gonna show you can clone your voice. You can create your own design of a voice. You do that through right here. You can do a voice design, choose, male, female, the age group, then the dialect, and then the strength of that dialect that you want, the accent. And then you can generate and save that. You can also do that for a voice cloning, which you can literally do it by just, clicking the record audio and speaking into your mic if you have a good microphone. If you don't, I encourage you to go get a good recording and then bring that in. That's going to be the best for your voice cloning, but it doesn't take a lot, like a minute of somebody like just sitting here reading something for 30 seconds to a minute will get enough for the voice cloning to really get very, very close to your voice. And then you also see a place in voice library. We have thousands of voices that are already created that you can go through and you can start to sort through them. And then you can sample.
안녕하세요. 유익하고 좋은 내용을 알기 쉽고
And they're all different countries, all different dialects that you can come through. And you can use any of those and use kind of
Happiness
sample.
resides not in possessions and not in gold. Happiness dwells in the soul.
And then if you want to use that, you're just going to go in and hit add to my voices. My voices is like your place for all of your favorites, right? So here are all the favorites that I have. I just added manual in there. Meg is a great voiceover. I can sample.
The truth of the matter is that you always know the right thing to do.
And so I can go through and do each one of these.
The PAS framework, also known as the problem agitate solution.
And then I can go into my vocalization. And in vocalization, that's where I'm actually going to do something. So if I have something pasted in there, I'm going to just cut it down so it's fast here. Okay. So if I want to create that, I'm just going to choose my voice. So on this one here, I actually want this to be a female voice. Claire is kind of a preppy young one. I'm just going to hit generate. And now it's going to go ahead and create that audio. Once it's finished, it's going to start playing for me in our player right down below so you can hear it.
You're always pushing the limits of what's possible. But to truly stand out, you need the right tools. With Rubi.AI Premium, you'll have access to an endless supply of creative resources. Craft unique, engaging content that strategically targets blended audiences with persona crossovers and blending.
Okay, so you can create as many of these as you want. You can use any of the voices that you want. So I'm going to do a British male, but one of the things that's really great about this as well is I can create this into 29 different languages. And so if I come over and I just switch it to Japanese, it doesn't matter what voice I have up here. I'm going to use my British male voice to read the Japanese version of the exact same thing.
チャングに可能性の限界を押し広げています。しかし本当に目立つためには適切なツールが必要です。RubiAI プレミアムを使えば想像。
So getting into creating, all kinds of multilingual content is
チャング
so
に可能性の
easy.
限界を押し
And you can play with it. All of your stuff is stored over here. You can go through and just, hit as many different sets as you want. You have access to everything you've ever done. If you're in a project, you're going to load it here, and only those that are in the project will actually show up over here so you can keep it organized as well. Speech to speech allows you to do, the same thing. It's going to create audio based on your audio that you're reading it. And what's great about it is that that's how you get the perfect read as far as the right intonation and the way that you want the cadence for it to be read. You do it like that. So if I wanted it to say, Rubi.AI, the most powerful, value-driven AI platform in the world. And I have it paused just like that. It's really easy to do. You hit record. I'm going to open it up and I'm going to do it right now. Rubi.AI, the most powerful, most value-driven AI platform in the world. Okay, so now I have it up and I'm going to do it right now. So you have all that. Rubi.AI, the most powerful, most value-driven AI platform in the world. Okay, so now I'm going to do that, but I'm going to actually use it with Claire. And so I'm going to have her read it the same way. You're going to hear all that stuff at the beginning because I was talking, but hang on. I'll hear it.
I'm going to open it up and I'm going to do it right now. Rubi.AI, the most powerful, most value-driven AI platform in the world.
And so the whole point is that the cadence that you want it to be read in is what you're really trying to accomplish right there. And so again, of course, I have it right here. I can do everything I want. If I wanted to, go back over and do it again, I can do whatever I want. That's how you get the cadence inside of the Voice Lab. Okay, so the only thing that you haven't seen in the Voice Lab right now is called Revoicer. Revoicer is a way for you to take a audio file and a video file, upload it, and it will actually create it and translate it into another language. If you have a music bed, it doesn't matter. It will only do the audio, the voice, and it will leave the audio track there. So you will have an incredible product to go and quickly translate for multiple markets. Okay, the last one I'm going to talk about right now is IntelliChat. It's actually one of the most important pieces, and I've saved it here at the end. I know that it's a lot of information, and you can go back and watch this a billion different times and fast forward whatever you need to. But IntelliChat is another one of our patent pending options. And what this does is allows us to go in and think about this as if you had a chat, a group chat, and you had every big conversational chat platform in the world, all part of this chat group. And you're having a conversation. Everybody that's in that chat group already knows what the conversation is about. So you don't have to go and say, well, I have to retell it everything about it if I go from Chat GPT 3.5 or GPT-4, if I go into Claude. That's what I'd have to do today. I'd have to take whatever conversation was already here. I'd have to go and start it over there and there because it doesn't know anything yet. It wasn't part of the group chat. What we do is we actually create a group chat, and we do a group chat with every one of the major LLMs that are out there to create a conversational chat. And we keep them all here. You don't have to have a subscription to any of them. You're all part of Ruby and they're all included. And what's great is that you can make one your default. So I like to use Claude 3. So I'm gonna actually make Claude 3 my default. By sticking that, I now see that my default's being saved. And I now have this. Every time I load it up, this is the one that I'm going to use. Now, all of this is super easy. I can go in and just say, give me a quick hello statement to start a webinar. Okay, so again, you don't have to worry about my great typing. This is a quick way to get going, and I can do this with any of these modules that I want to, right? And I can see the difference between them as we get just comparing. So I don't have to retype this in to get it to a different model. I can literally just click this little button, edit. You see that it reloads it back down there, and I can go back in and edit it and get it correct. So it doesn't matter. I say I want to run it on GPT-4 this time. I just have to hit go. It already is going to start this conversation and go based on the same prompt. Okay. But let's say that now that I want to go to, let's go to Cohere. And then for Cohere, I want to say refine or make the welcome more concise. Now, Cohere doesn't have any idea what we're talking about, right? It doesn't know this unless it's part of the conversation. And so what it's doing now is it's immediately knowing that, oh, we're already in a conversation. I already know that you're writing these welcome and hellos and you want it to be shortened, no problem. I'll go ahead and kick it out. Now, this is from a totally different platform. And you can do that with anything that you're doing. If you're going out and having a long conversation with Chat GPT-4, and then you want to go over and look at what Claude thinks about it, you don't have to go and retrain it. It's all built in. This is a huge piece of why IntelliChat is going to be massive for everything we're doing. Now, we've also taken it a step further because we actually have all of our modules built into it as well. So if I wanted to go into my modules and I wanted to choose, of course, all the images and all that stuff, are better in production. If I come in and I say, okay, I want to do this about a Rubi.AI. It's a generative AI content creator. And it's just Rubi.AI is the name of my company as a service. That's all I have to put in here to get this great prompt going, right? So I'm just going to hit generate. It's going to go ahead and build this all out. Now I'm using Cohere to do this, okay? This is another LLM. It's created me a great marketing plan that's sitting here. And you can see this is my prompt, okay? It's a professional prompt, but I just had to add in Rubi.AI and what industry I'm in. That's it. That's all I've added. It's doing the rest of the work for me and it's producing this incredible product. But I don't have to stop there. I can actually go over here into GPT-4 and you can go up and say, give me 3 different pricing strategies. Now that I'm here, I mean, Cohere is the one that ran this. So the only way that I would know about giving me pricing strategies would be as if it was already part of our conversation. And so now it's going through and it's already given me a different way of looking at the pricing strategies specifically for my company, okay? And so I don't have to sit there and re-explain everything. It knows everything already. And this happens for anything that you want to do here. If you look over here to the right, there's a drawer that will slide out. All of your history is right here. If you are doing this in a project, okay, if you're into the canvas, this is going to work the exact same way, except the only thing that you'll see in your history are those that are associated with the project, okay? Everything else will be in your general files, just like this one is. Now, a couple other things I want to show you. Obviously, persona, that's a big one, right? So you'll be able to pull your personas in to every chat, just like you can with every module. Okay, so now every chat actually has this as well. So now I want to come up here and I want to rewrite the welcome. And I'm just going to rewrite this now, and I'm going to have the persona write it to Amy, who's technically savvy. And you'll see that this is going to be a little bit more put together right towards her, right? What is it that they're looking to do? And so I can also turn it over to a direct selling one that's kind of deal with them and see how this works with that. And it's thinking. So it's not getting too detailed on that, but you'll be able to use whatever this is, and you'll be able to fly it through all of your reasons for doing it with your personas. Okay, and that's why your personas are so important to have. They'll all be found right here. One thing I didn't mention: if you're already in version 1 and you have created a bunch of personas, you don't have to worry about them. They're all going to be there for you. And if you want to update them so that you have suggestions and you have the avatars and all that stuff built for you to keep it as a version 2, there's an update button right underneath of the name of that in Personify, so you can update that. The last thing I'm going to talk about here, obviously there's an editor over here as well, so you can keep track of everything. You can copy and paste it all over here. You can keep all your markdowns that you want. You can also go through over here called anchoring. And one of the things that you'll find out if you're in Cohere, what does anchoring do? Well, anchoring does a couple of things. I'm going to actually start a new chat here, and I'm going to do a chat with search. There's a little button down here. When you're on Cohere, we've added a couple of ways that you can do things. Number one is you can actually become current. So the biggest problem with conversational chats is that they're not current. They don't know what happened yesterday, right? They know what happened last time that they updated the model, but they don't know what happened yesterday. And so what we can do now is we can actually go through and put stuff that you don't think it would ever know into the model right now, and it will grab it through the web. So let's just say, who is the, who was the leading passer for the Super Bowl in 2024? There's a couple, I'm gonna show this to you real quick too. This little cogwheel down here, it allows you to choose how you want your return button on your keyboard to work. So if I am inside of my box and I hit send message, if I have that one, when I hit return, it's gonna actually process it and send it out to submit. If I wanna do a line break, it'll actually do a line break. And so I can keep kind of cleaning up my stuff. If I want to like send message, I can just click that and I can hit send message. And now it's going to send out there. Now you're going to see that it's actually searching. Okay, so it's going out in the web, and it's grabbing everything, and it's pulling in all the information. So it looks like Patrick Mahomes was the leading passer for the Super Bowl in 2024. Now, they're not going to know that in GPT-3.5. They're not going to know that in GPT-4. They're not going to know that in Claude 3. Okay, the only way they're knowing that is it's going out and finding that information. So where did it find that information? Can I verify it? Well, that's what these highlights are. These are citing exactly where it came up with that information and then you can click on it and we'll actually open up the web address of where you're going, in which you can't see that because it's on a different browser tab, but that would open up another browser tab of exactly where it found it online. Okay, so that's chatless search with Cohere, so you can get current stuff. Now, another way to do that, by the way, is if you click this little button over here, it opens up the drawer the same way as you have that little drawer over there, and we have this thing called anchoring. Now, if I wanted to not search the whole web, I wanted to search just a very specific website, I can do that here by entering the website. So I'm going to do We Are Selfless because that is our site for Selfless. Now I'm going to ask it a question. I'm going to say, give me information about Selfless. And I'm going to hit this again. Now, what this is going to do is it's only going to be using this specific website to come up with that information. It's not going everywhere in the web. It's going specifically there. So if I was going to do a research or if I was going to do a paper on a specific research or a specific site that has all the information, I can limit it down to where I know that that's quality content. I'm not going out and finding any stuff that's I don't believe is true. So it's a way for me to really get deeper in that. And again, I can go find it on the web where they found that. Now, another way to do that is to not use it on the web, but actually to upload a PDF file. And this is something that's really cool. You'll see that when I click over here, I can actually upload it from, from my hard drive. I can just open it up and I can add it. Or the ones that I've already used, I can just, click them over here. So I'm going to use the Selfless white paper this time, and that's going to have it explain the tokenization. Okay, this would have no idea what this is if it wasn't able to go find it. So a good way to use this would be you have a nutritional product that has a one sheet. You want to write a social media post about that specific product using maybe the key ingredients or the benefits. And all you got to do is upload that document, and you can now ask it to go and write you something specifically off that paper. And again, it's citing on the paper where it's found. Okay, Corey, I'm going to ask if there's any questions here. I've gone a long time. There's a lot going on. I knew this would be an information overload. And here's what I'll tell you guys. Every single piece of these features, there's a video that will explain how to use them and what you can do to go in there and get the process going. And this is what I believe will happen with people when they start to use this. Number one, they're going to come in and they're going to want to create a specific thing at that time. And they're going to use whatever it is that they're trying to accomplish. More than likely, IntelliChat's going to be the very first place that they probably go. They can create any kind of content, any kind of insight directly from here. But they're also able to go and do a bunch of stuff, with the canvas and how that's going to work, and be able to create audio and video files, and they'll learn as they go through the process. There's nothing really difficult about any of the interfaces. It's just that there's a lot of them, because that's what we want this to be. We want Ruby to be the one-stop shop for everything that you're trying to accomplish in building whatever content or getting the kind of data that you're going to need. And it is that that's what it is. It's a one-stop shop of the best technology in the world, all in one place. So how you describe it, that's up to you. I think it's a way for you to go out and you talk about what's important to somebody else. You show them by just putting stuff on your networks where they can see it. They can see it actually in action. It will take care of 90% of the explanations that you're trying to accomplish. I know this, that once people start to get in and understand and play with it, number one, a lot of the stuff that we talked about at the very beginning about the My Accounts, workspaces, collaborators, learning how to look at usage, and those are all things they'll learn as they're going down the road or when it's necessary. It's not readily available. They're not going to go and actually just jump in and probably start looking right there anyway. But when you start getting into Spy and Ghost and all these things that they're doing, if they're going through the project side, the project workflow, it's going to be very intuitive for them to be able to add that. And if they want to understand it, they play the video and it gives them a quick little 20-second, hey, this is what it does, this is how you use it. So there's no real questions, and they'll become more familiar with it as they get going. The more complicated really it gets, I think it's just taking it in bites, right? A little bit at a time. I do think that when you start looking at putting in the virtual studio and places, things like that, where you're starting to really get a lot of multimedia stuff. People are going to get in and play with it. They're not going to break anything. They're going to go play with it. They're going to have a lot of fun with it. It doesn't cost you on an edit, right? It costs you when you render. So you're going to play with it and you're going to see, however you want to render it. I will say in the render of the video, I didn't say this earlier, that's a premium project if you get over HD quality. So if you want a 4K render, it's going to cost you, you're going to be a premium subscriber to get that feature. Same thing with audio. If you want higher than 48, then you're gonna pay more for that. So anyway, guys, that's the best way to look at it today. I mean, you've seen literally every aspect of Ruby and what's involved in it. Closer. I'm not going to go into it much today. I'm just going to give you a quick little idea about it because I know someone asked about it. Susan asked about it, and I'm going to give a little bit about it. And so Closer is a product that will come out in the third quarter. And what it does is it allows you to enroll into an auto DMing platform called Closer. And what Closer will do is you'll actually tell Closer what your target audience is that you're trying to go for, a persona. You'll load that persona into Closer. Closer is going to go and look at what social media accounts you have linked to their account. So if you have Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, it's going to go and look down those three platforms. It's going to find influencers that match your persona. And then it's going to go and it's going to start collecting data of people who are actually commenting on influencers that are specific to what your target audience needs to be. Then it's going to take it and it's going to break those comments into two different categories by sentiment. So is it going to be positive or is it going to be negative? And then it's going to create an auto DM and it's going to write messages that's going to automatically drop into these new people's DMs on those platforms for you through your account, but it's going to be written and automated 100% by Ruby. So let's just say that you have a greens product that you are excited about and you're selling it, and they go out and they gather some data off of Athletic Greens, and they have, let's say 100 comments, and 20 of them are negative and 30 of them are positive. So what we're going to do is we're going to, 80 of them are positive. 80 of them are going to get, DM'd from Ruby through your account that says something like this. I love Athletic Greens too. It's a great product. However, I found something cheaper. You might check this out. And it's just a link to your landing page wherever you are leading them to go. The other side of that's negative. So maybe they didn't like the flavor. Hey, I know that I saw that you didn't like the flavor. I didn't either, but I found one that you might want to try. Boom, I drop it into there. And all I'm doing is I'm doing the inviting. And I'm exposing products for people. And you can do up to 3 per hour per social media account that you link. And so that's what Closer is. Closer will come out at the end of third quarter. And that will be another big place for you guys to get going. All right. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you for spending this much time. I know that there is a lot going on, but I will say that what you have your hands on is the most powerful, value-driven AI platform in the world. And now it's just about getting ready to go share it. And we're working every single day, getting closer to putting this thing together. And we made a big accomplishment today in getting that done. We had a hurdle that we had to get over. We got over a big one today. And tomorrow we're starting into the last little integration. So we're getting closer. As I has told Chris, I know that, I get people hit me every day, like, when's it coming? When's it coming? And I'll just tell you this, guys, what we have our hands on is by far the best product that can ever hit the market. And the last thing we will do is take it to market early before it's really been tested and you guys have really tested it. And, you guys are the ones that are going to have it first before we take it and push it out to everybody. We're going to get you guys to use this. And the reason why we're going to do that is so that we don't have any major problems. Because when this thing launches out and it starts to roll, every single person who's doing this as a business should see a massive run in their business. And it's just about starting now. prep yourself today. This is one of those runs that might actually create freedom for hundreds and hundreds of people who are here today if they take the initiative to get going beforehand. And that's why I'm showing you this stuff. I would love not to show this until it was completely ready to release. But you see, it's expansive. There's a lot. There's a lot of things new. There's a lot of people who need to know how to use it. But there's also a lot that goes into getting belief that, guys, we're here. We're doing it. It's not just talk. You're going to have the best product in the world to go and latch onto. So with that, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you for everything you're doing. Keep going. Don't stop. This is going to be massive of a rollout. And don't stop thinking about just individuals, because businesses are going to eat this up in so many different ways. Businesses will be created off of Ruby. People are already doing it off of version 1, where they're putting on clients and teaching them how to do it for so much per hour. Guys, a business will be created from this. The agencies will definitely use it. Anyone that does marketing will use it. It's the best tool and by far the best value they'll ever have. So with that, Corey, is there anything that you would like to say before we go off?
Oh, you know, I always have so much to say.
Okay, say it. Say your one word.
No, well, Lillian just asked, should I learn version 1 before learning version 2? I was just about to answer that. My computer's about to die, actually.
Yeah, I mean, you want to understand what Personify is. You want to understand Spy and Ghost and Chat. I mean, you're definitely going to be able to start using those as modules. You'll see what the modules are. So yeah, you're going to learn a lot right now. And guys, let's not just disqualify version 1. Version 1's awesome. I mean, it's got 150 freaking modules in there that have amazing results. We've got a great chat program. You've got the Spy and Ghost, and all of the virtual studio that's already open in there that you can play with. It's not like it's a shabby product now. It's a great product now. We're just going to accelerate it times 100. And that's where version 2 comes out and stands out and steps itself into a place where you all know I'm going to talk about the blue waters, where we're going to swim so far out in the ocean that if you're going to come catch us now, you're going to be, a year behind us, and we're going to saturate this marketplace. And that means that the people who are out there sharing it are going to have the majority of the world's customers in their organizations. And that is what I have the dream for you all about. So with that, let's wrap it up. And we will see you guys on Thursday's Vision Cast, all about version 2 as well. With that, Corey, I'm out of breath. Let's get out of here.